Hey guys, and welcome back to the second HellfireComms Disneython. We've got a Pixar treat for you today, and it's one of the more popular films, Monsters, Inc. Joining me for this one is the one and only THC, the Hell Dragon. How are you today, mate?
I'm doing average, like usual.
Average is how I would describe a HellfireComms commentary, yes. Now, we've had to use a different copy of the film to those used for the majority of the comms in the marathon. So, as always, please consult the video description and make sure you're using the correct version of Monsters, Inc. Alright, let's begin. You ready, mate?
Let's do it.
Okay, in 3, 2, 1. And here we go.
Oh, good. Let's make one of those references right away.
Okay, Monsters, Inc., the fourth Pixar film. I think the first three were Toy Story, A Bug's Life, and Toy Story 2, yeah. And they'd been working on the concept for this since 1996. So thankfully, by the time they got around to actually developing the film, fur technology had advanced so they could make some of the monsters like Sully look amazing, at least for the time.
You know, even looking back on it now, I still think a lot of the graphics hold up. I mean, obviously, CGI has still advanced quite a bit since then. Like, compare this movie to the newest one from Pixar, Inside Out, in terms of, hair texture and body texture and things like that. But I still think this movie looks pretty good, all things considered, especially for their fourth picture.
Randy Newman, as you could probably tell by the musical style, did all the music for Monsters, Inc. He did the music for the first three films they did as well, so I guess they just like Mr. Newman.
Yeah, he seems to be a recurring theme in these various movies here.
Seriously, I love Monsters, Inc. It's probably in my top 5 alongside, let's see, The Incredibles, WALL-E, Ratatouille, and Toy Story 2. Yeah, that plus Monsters, Inc. is my top 5 Pixar.
Yeah, I have to agree, again, it's one of their earliest films, but Monsters, Inc. still holds up really well to this day. Like, everything about it clicks really well in terms of the plot, the characters, the comedy, things like that. And it would be in my top 5 too, as well.
I mean, the concept of, monsters hiding in children's closets isn't a new thing, but as...
Five Nights at Freddy's 4.
Oh, Jesus. Don't let them... Yeah, just like Five Nights at Freddy's 5 with fucking Mike coming out of the closet doing a stand-up routine. Oh, you made me lose track now. Here we go. But as Pixar is wont to do, or was wont to do, depending on who you ask these days, they put a new spin on it. And, they made it so the monsters are collecting these children's screams to power their world. And it's just really cool and a fresh new take on the concept.
One of the biggest strengths of Pixar is the ability to take these, concepts that have been done before and put enough of their own spin on it to make them seem fresh again. Like, as you said, monsters having a separate world and things like that. But here, all the monsters, they have their own outlook on things. Their world is powered by that completely different energy source. And they feel, like more realistic people than the actual people in this movie, which is strange.
Toy Story, the whole thing of toys coming to life when their kid masters aren't around, isn't new. There'd been stuff like, I don't know, puppets or stop motion kind of things in that regard. But Toy Story was like the first completely CGI film, and it was revolutionary. And then we get to this bit where you see a monster just completely fucking up. I mean, he can't even do his job correctly. That's a fresh new take, right?
Yeah, you could tell this guy's pretty low on the Monsters, Inc. totem pole,
How do you feel when it comes to, visual humor or slapstick?
I feel that as long as it's not overdone, if they don't focus on it, a ton, as opposed to the more natural character-driven comedy, I think it's fine. Hell, I've laughed at a lot of slapstick before, and I, really dig those old Looney Tunes and Tex Avery cartoons when they kind of just, went crazy out there, But again, these days I lean towards more character-driven comedy.
Observational, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty, I think you could tell my comedic style based on, all of the comms I've done with this group.
Mm-hmm. I think Bugs Bunny is 75 this year.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
It lets a draft in.
Exactly, we don't want to let the kid freeze.
I forgot that was an actual line from the film. I wasn't trying to be funny.
And speaking of the kids, again, like I said, technology has advanced since this movie came out, and Pixar has definitely gotten better at rendering humans. Here, they look really kind of stiff, strangely more alien and monsterish than the actual monsters in this movie.
Oh, it's like Hunchback of Notre Dame. Who is the monster and who is the man?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Exposition. I'm glad they made him president.
Hey, that's Mr. Waternoose to you.
I'm trying to identify what the hell he is. I mean, obviously, besides, I know he's a monster, but he's based on something. Some sort of horseshoe crab or something like that.
A crab, a spider, I mean, the multiple eyes kind of gives that away.
Although imagining this motherfucker kind of chasing after you in your house, oh my.
Just look at that fur. I mean, it got a little better in Monsters University, more of which later, but at the time, mind blown. Billy Crystal here as Mike.
Yes, it's not Bill Murray like I got it wrong the last time we tried this. This is Billy Crystal, my bad.
Ever since that take, I've been wondering what Bill Murray would bring to Monsters, Inc.
I think that would have been really cool, actually, don't you think? Like, I gotta admit, the combo of Billy Crystal and John Goodman is kind of weird, but again, the super strong writing and characterization of this movie really make it work. Like, you can't imagine them not being a duo after you've seen this movie.
Yeah, again, Monsters University kind of builds on their friendship, but I think it works best in this movie. Honestly, according to TV tropes, and I have to put an apparently addendum to this, Billy Crystal accepted the role of Mike because he felt bad for turning down the role of Buzz Lightyear in the first Toy Story movie.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was approached to be Buzz Lightyear over Tim Allen.
But again, I can't think of anyone but Tim Allen in the role of Buzz, unless we're counting Patrick Warburton in the cartoon series.
I gotta admit, I love it when they make commercials and, like, you know, they have a commercial as part of the movie or the TV show because it never plays out like in universe, because it never plays out like an actual commercial would in real life. It's just so it's so fake and automatically turns you off from it.
Well, it's meant to drive forward the plot and deliver exposition. We just leap out with a gun now.
Okay, he didn't even go in there. Come on, that's just lazy.
That's how pro Sully is. He doesn't even have to enter the bedroom nowadays. Get used to that, it will be a running gag.
I love that. And, you know, I checked the DVD just to make sure the hole didn't actually cover up his face. It doesn't, unfortunately, but that would have been funny if it did.
He doesn't care. He's such an egomaniac, just being on television is enough.
It's like a really stark contrast to how he was presented in Monsters University. Like, you really get the idea that this dude is just cool with how things are going, and it really makes Mike a likable character, in my opinion. So I wonder what the monster version of Sesame Street is called.
What, you mean Sesame Street wasn't a nightmarish dream I had once?
You know, would all the puppets on that show be friendly humans now that I think about it?
I think Big Bird was a kaiju, actually.
You remember that whole short that came with the DVD talking about Mike's new car and all the shit they were going through trying to get it to work?
I know what you're talking about, I haven't seen it myself, no.
I've seen it like years ago. Like, I don't know if they still do this anymore. But like with early Pixar releases, what they would do is they would include stuff like extra shorts and shorts that are related to the movie itself, not like the different theatrical ones. They would have different shorts. They'd have bloopers at the end of the credits, and I don't think they do that anymore, which sucks because I really like those.
Monsters Inc. was the last one to have bloopers, I believe, and in like some versions, I don't know whether this was theatrical or DVD home video related, they replaced it with a put that thing back where it came from, also help me skit that actually got produced in universe.
Yeah, I saw that one too, and I thought that was pretty funny, but I do like the bloopers more. My cabbages!
If you were paying attention back there, you would notice there is a scream shortage going on, so I wonder how the movie could play out.
Well, I mean, let's not dance around the plot here. Everybody should know this movie by now if they're watching this with commentary on it.
Well, we don't have to spoil it from the get-go, otherwise we'll have nothing to talk about.
Now, this right here, the bloopers for this version had Rex from Toy Story.
Yep.
And he was doing an audition. I love that.
Well, you know that, I don't know whether this was, like, confirmed or it's a rumor that all Pixar movies take place in the same universe. Like, obviously, Brave is well in the past, WALL-E is well in the future.
That's a fan theory, but there's also in the Pixar movies they have little callbacks to the other ones. Like I know we see some Finding Nemo stuff in here. Later on, I'll talk about how Toy Story comes into play. So I can kind of see it all working out, and I love this right here. It's just Mike is continually out of the picture.
Oh, these guys right here. What are their names? What's my voice actor thing? Needleman, the taller one, and Smitty, the squat one. They're both voiced by Daniel Gearson, and these guys have some of the best comic relief in the movie, even if they are just stereotypes.
Yeah, that's true. These guys pop up in every movie. There's always these two outcast guys. One's the fat one. One's the, lanky, thin one. They're always the comic relief. I want to see one of them just be like a completely sarcastic, dry bastard.
Are you describing people in the movie or us?
Yeah, which one am I wonder?
This is Celia, Mike's girlfriend, voiced by Jennifer Tilly. She'll turn up in another movie that we've yet to record.
Oh, you'll see. You'll see. I admit it's a bit off-putting to have a Medusa talk seductively towards Mike, so...
They're both like one-eyed monsters, I just realised that.
She's got more than one, technically, if you count the snake hair.
Such a fucking ham.
I love it, though. Like, Billy Crystal does a great job, I think. Like, everybody is really spot on in this film.
I mean, we're pole-licking the movie, but I really do feel this way about Monsters, Inc.
I love his expression there when he puts the contact in. He's like, oh, it's great.
Huh, must be 40. And again.
You.
Steve Buscemi as the wonderful Randall. How do you feel about, both Steve and Randall, mate?
It's not the first time that Steve Buscemi and John Goodman have been in a movie together. This doesn't concern you, Randall, all right?
The Big Lebowski.
Yeah, you need to watch that sometime. That's actually a really good film.
Oh, that's just like your opinion, man.
There you go. But I really do like I said, everybody's really top-notch. Randall is just fucking slime in this film, and Buscemi just does an excellent job, really playing that up. Randall is a very effective antagonist in this picture.
Not the first, semi-antagonistic character called Randall in Disney. Do you know the other one I'm referring to?
Are you talking about the one from Recess?
Yes, Randall the Snitch from Recess, who is voiced by the guy who plays Demix in Kingdom Hearts 2.
How random.
Yeah, how Randall, even. Oh, fucking Roz, I love her.
I think everyone has tried to do Roz's voice at one point. Hello, Tom.
Hello, Hell Dragon.
Wanna do a movie commentary together? Oh, God.
Yeah, hard on the throat, innit? Yeah, Roz the Secretary is voiced by Bob Peterson, who is a writer, director, and producer for Pixar products. Or producer, to pronounce it correctly. Getting too hype here. Not sure if he's the de facto one in each case, but it's also a nice parallel to Lilo and Stitch, where the producer Chris Sanders voiced Stitch, and Bob also voices Doug and Alpha in Pixar's Up.
I don't know how often they do that in these Pixar movies where they get people actually from the staff to voice characters. I wonder how, Bob got that role. When did he bust out the Roz voice that made them decide that they wanted to put him in the movie?
There was also that guy who voices Edna Mode in The Incredibles.
That was Brad Bird, yes, actually. And Brad Bird surprisingly did a good job too. It's really uncanny how these people who aren't normally geared towards acting actually create these really memorable roles.
Well, they know about writing, they know how about setting a scene, so it just fits naturally, I guess. How do we feel about the concept of doors, the whole realm of portals?
With all the concept of doors and things like that, it's so strange that this movie has not shown up in Kingdom Hearts at all. 'Cause the two concepts get together like Reese's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like chocolate and... Is peanut butter in Reese's Pieces?
Yes, I would hope peanut butter is in Reese's, otherwise you just completely miss the point.
Okay, well, chocolate is Kingdom Hearts and the peanut butter is Monsters, Inc. Put them together, you got something good. I mean, we're getting tangled now, so we're slowly getting into the CGI realm of movies, so, onwards and upwards.
Yes, but we're getting the popular shit and not the good popular shit, like Pixar films. They're really overdue, they're Disney, just fucking bring them in already. Let's have an Incredibles world, let's fucking rock it, come on.
Wait for it. Toy Story background.
Do you think they have a monster that's made like a robot? Do they have to arm him with fake bullets so they don't kill the kids.
Would that really scare the child, though? Because I know if it was you and a Transformer walked in through your closet, you'd go, oh my god!
Okay, well, to be fair, if it's Megatron or Starscream, then I could panic a little.
Waspinator, terrorize!
Oh god, no.
The ultimate fear.
Now, I do love the whole setup of the factory, and it's kind of Looney Tunes-esque. You know, all of the complex machinery bringing in the doors and things like that. Like, I just love the whole look of the place.
Apparently, in like an earlier draft of the film, it had Mike as Randall's scaring assistant, and Sully was a non-scarer factory worker.
I kind of like the dynamic they go through here instead. It just works very well, like I've said.
Just like the whole nitty-gritty of it, like, you know, the control panels and the yellow scare canisters. Everything about this, like, whole technology setup just fascinates me, really.
The whole reason Randall has a big old beef with Sully, as we've seen, is that he wants to be the top scarer of the company. Now, there's actually some schools of thought. I'm going to go into office productivity here. Yes, I've read these books. There's actually a school of thought where they figured that if you try to motivate your employees by setting them against each other in a competition, it doesn't really as effectively funnel towards fulfilling the purpose of the company. You know, like, in this case, it's obviously harnessing enough scare energy because they get too focused on the competition. And I can safely say that if this whole thing hadn't happened and they didn't have big scoreboards to say, Randall, you currently suck this much, then the whole movie would probably be invalid in that he wouldn't have any motivation to go after Sully whatsoever. So really, it's the company's fault at the end of the day.
Yeah, Waternoose is a bit of a prick, really. So if you can't be a scarer, you can at least be someone who cares.
What?
Sorry, I have to make up these things on the spot.
There's like a separate factory where babysitters come in through the closets. I will watch your children tonight.
Why do you think they have to shred the doors, like, if they become unable to scare the particular child?
Well, I don't know. It's strange, though. Like, you'd think they would just repurpose the doors to kind of scare more people in the house at once. That way you wouldn't have to shred a bunch of doors. Like, what I would do is I would have a door for scaring kids, and I do that normally. Then I have a door that goes into the adults' room, and I would manifest as their fear of debt or death or
shit.
something like that.
Yeah.
That wouldn't make them scream, but that'd still scare them. I imagine that'd get a little energy. Yeah.
Oh, I love this. Fargo reference.
That was a Fargo reference?
Yeah, Steve Buscemi's character got put into like a wood chipper or a shredder in that movie.
Oh, dude. That's pretty grim.
That's like one of the things he's known for. I know him best as Nucky Thompson from Boardwalk Empire.
I just know him mostly from Big Lebowski, like I said.
We'll have to have like a movie night and watch that one of these days.
Good thing they put the alarm all the way over there.
Well, you need to, in case you need like a dynamic running shot.
You are a dead man.
The terrifying monster known as George.
Now, I love how they were apparently primed to go from the very moment to instantly jump in through the window. Like, were they staying there, or is their mobilization just that fast? What's going on?
Well, it's like one of the primary resources of the monster world. I mean, there's like other factories producing like scare canisters and such, but this Monsters Inc. would probably be one of the more famous ones, so they might have someone on standby. Maybe there's someone working on the inside who feeds information to the outside.
Yeah, I have to wonder if Monsters Inc. has the monopoly, so to speak, on scare energy. There's bound to be more power companies, though. I love the excess overkill of these guys, though. Like, they put a fucking blast dome on it just to kill that sock.
It reminds me of this one episode of Doctor Who. I think it was season 4 of the revival era, where Doctor Who's in this car and like the navigation system is like overriding the car, and it basically does the opposite of what the person tells it to do. So he says, drive into the river, and it comes to a dead hole, and they run out of the car, and it explodes, but it's just like, pfft. It's like, oh, is that it? Nothing says coffee like sludge coming out of a machine.
Well, since here they don't like, good human things like we do, is that like the worst, most oldest coffee in the world? It's still hot, which is weird. You think it'd be cold by now.
He's a bit of a company man, is Sully, shall we say.
I wonder if they make pants for people like the boss here.
Well, maybe he keeps his genitalia on the inside.
Well, let's hope so. Because that's against company policy.
It'll be twice as scary.
Oh shit, don't do that.
Now, I didn't actually see Roz in that shot, but I don't think she even so much as flinched when Sully roared.
Well, Roz is pretty unshakable, I would think.
She's seen it all, man. She's seen it all at this point.
Yeah, I believe it. I love their little computers in the bag. It just looks like a cheap 80s piece of shit. I love it.
Oh, well, maybe monster technology is lagging behind the human world, even though they've got doors that can open to other universes.
Well, clearly the technology got reprioritized along the line.
But he really did become egotistical since his university days.
I love it. Yeah, it's a really neat contrast. So, what animal got killed to make Celia's dress here?
Are you, well, actually, I think you're just assuming. Sorry, Roz out of fucking nowhere, kind of threw me off course there. Are you probably just assuming that's a fuck it, I'm just gonna abort this joke and edit in post. But
Mike has some of the best expressions in the whole movie. Surprisingly expressive for basically an eye with arms and legs.
Well, he's the fool, and Sully is the straight man to that fool.
That's true, that's true.
Oh, he's a wingman as well.
Well, they seem like bros to each other, and you could definitely appreciate that. I wonder what they'll think when they realize that humans basically act the same way they do, anyway, so...
Well, they care about scares, that's about it, really.
To be scared or not to be scared, that's the question.
Uh-oh.
I love how there's that one spotlight, like God has chosen this door.
Come in here if you want to advance the plot.
It's literally the door to the next level. I'm trying to remember, speaking of next level, I'm trying to remember like what video games got made for this movie when it came out. I think it was like one of the earliest ones on the Game Boy Advance, or one of the last ones to be on the Game Boy Color. I don't remember.
There was like a definite 3D one that I remember seeing, but I can't remember what platform it was on. It was either PS1 or PS2.
I think it was PS1, yeah.
Then again, what Disney property wasn't on the PlayStation 1? I mean, you had like Emperor's New Groove, Hercules, which was amazing. Not that the Emperor's New Groove game wasn't pretty good, but I haven't played it, so yeah, I can't really give a personal opinion.
The Peter Pan sequel was on it.
He can scare the pants off even the most hardened of monsters, but a little girl in like a friggin' t-shirt is what terrifies him the most.
What I think is funny about this movie is that, like we were talking earlier, like, they treat the monsters like humans. Like very, human-like. But here, the few humans we do see in this movie, they don't really communicate a lot. Like, most of them is going to be from Boo here, who pretty much just makes noises, nothing coherent, which again is kind of like what we think of as monsters, you know what I'm saying?
So to just like shorten that down and make it actually legible, the monsters are humans and the humans are monsters.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool thing about Boo is they didn't really record her voice work in the traditional sense because she's just a child. So what they did instead was just follow her around the studio and record whatever happened to come out of her mouth that day. And I guess she was hanging out in the Winnie the Pooh sector of the studio because she keeps saying stuff like tiger or kitty, and it's a good job that he looks vaguely cat-like. Otherwise, they would have probably had to redesign Sully.
Yeah, Kitty is just a huge kind of reach when it comes to Sully, personally. Like, I would think he's more of a bull, really, because of the horns.
Yeah, well, ogre, bull, it's a mishmash.
Yeah, this is actually setting up for a good joke later on. Like, when I was watching this again, I just saw it come out of nowhere. I'm like, hey, that was a good setup. And this kid, throughout this whole film, has this amazing ability to, like, practically teleport. Like, you have no idea how this kid gets to certain places. It's mostly comedic timing is pretty much the only thing that moves her around.
Yeah, when we come in here being all cynical and analytical, we just destroy the joke, but the people in the movie theatre are just going, haha, that is so cute.
I love how the bag has teeth, like a monster. Like, that's just great.
I'm evil.
Randall, what were you doing in there? I mean, besides the obvious thing. Good hiding spot, thank you. Seriously, this kid is, like, unflappable throughout the entire film. Like, she sees all this crazy shit that happens, and she doesn't even blink. Like, okay, I guess it helps the fact that she's really young, but even so, wouldn't you think, like, a kid even that age would take a little bit of a pause?
Well, you know, Sully is big and fluffy, and I think that's like Nemo's dad on the wall back there, you know, one of the bits of artwork.
Oh god.
It's a sushi bar, so put two and two together. Do you know the thing about this restaurant in particular, Helldragon?
No, I do not.
This is Harryhausen's. It's kind of like elite. They, you know, had to get like tickets and reservations and such. And obviously, it comes from Ray Harryhausen, the stop motion master behind such films like Jason and the Argonauts and Clash of the Titans. So there's your kind of like monster illusion right there.
Oh, that's neat.
And I said it was me. Confirming all of Celia's worst fears.
I'm sure the snakes have their own opinions too, Tom.
I wonder if they each have their own conscience, or they're just bound by Celia's mind.
I wonder if they watch.
Ugh.
Yeah, I went there.
It just took a moment to process. But you know your theories are kind of bullshit when Mike agrees with you. Oh dear.
You know, you couldn't have settled this through like a phone call. I mean, I don't know how prevalent cells were in 2001, but still.
Do you see pockets on Mike? Where's he gonna put a phone? Actually, you know what? Don't answer that question.
Look, I bet monsters probably have organic pockets somewhere, and not in the place you're thinking of.
Oh, flesh pockets. That's a term you don't want to hear.
Well, I mean, kangaroos have flesh pockets, don't they?
Don't want to hear it. Don't like kangaroos.
You fuck kangaroos and their grody, organic things. See, he's got a phone. Okay, well, it's a wired phone.
A landline. You ever heard of a landline these days?
Landline? What? What is that mystical thing? Man, I bet half of the food in there was human.
Just take a kid home for later. It's a bit of a, you know, an appetizer, cold cuts, if you will.
I'm coming back, Elizabeth. I'm trying to remember some of the product not the product placement, no. The licensing that came out around this time, because I know there were action figures of the guys in yellow here. A block explodes in a ball of green flame. Green flame!
So is that just like decontamination?
I would think? I don't know.
They had to go nuclear to solve the problem.
I wouldn't be surprised if one of the monsters turned into the Incredible Hulk because of all that exposure. I just love the bullshit lying.
Do you think it's time to bash open the heads of our enemies and feast on the gooey centers inside?
What was that from? I'm trying to remember.
That's from The Simpsons with Ken Brockman.
Okay. That was Ken Brockman, wasn't it?
Uh-huh.
Do they have human pest control?
How do you mean?
You know, like, you get a guy to come in every month, and he's like, I'm spraying for humans. Alright, just get the sink back there, it's fine.
That's what the CDA's for, mate. You saw them just nuke a joint.
No, I mean, like, local pest control. Like, you know, you get, like, the fucking Orton man, or whatever.
I think they treat human infestation a bit more serious than a couple of cockroaches bopping about.
Whose is that? Is that Mike's?
I think it might be Mike's, yeah.
Oh, he even named it.
Oh boy, the pitch is rising.
It's like what happened in Ghostbusters or something.
Oh, no, this is fine. No one's going to notice this.
Yeah, definitely not.
This apartment looks like it could come out of, like, any late 90s sitcom. It looks like what Peter Parker and Harry Osborn rented in the Spider-Man movie, actually.
Or just get, like, 2 cameras in here, and then when Sully enters the room, ba-doo-boo-doo.
Applause. I don't want to go to jail, so please stop crying.
I'm just sitting here laughing at the movie because it's honestly genuinely funny. Like this.
Yeah, I mean, when Boo comes into the picture, it just slows down a little bit, and it becomes more about the crazy babysitting adventures of Mike, Sully, and Boo. But even that's still good. Fucking Mike, honestly.
Yeah, that's true. It does kind of slow down at around this point, but after we cross a certain threshold, the movie will definitely pick up back to its original tempo. So I wonder if they try to feed Boo like dog biscuits because they didn't know what else humans eat.
That's a good point. What is that? Is it just popcorn?
God, I hope it's popcorn or chocolate.
I think on some of the drawings, it actually says the name Mary. And, you know, obviously Mary gave us voice as Boo, so does that mean Boo's real name is Mary?
We might as well assume it is until we get proof otherwise.
There's a girl in Toy Story 3 who's like, I think, like, a bit older than Boo by at least a few years, and she looks almost exactly like her. I'm not sure if that's the same kid. Lovely deadpan face there from Sully, by the way. So, you know, it's just another example of universes intertwining.
Wonder whose crayons those were.
Mike's, obviously, let's be honest.
Well, is Mike like an efficient crayon artist in his spare time? Although, you know, if you're a good enough artist, I've seen some really good shit done with crayon and pastels, so I guess it comes down to skill.
I love how most of the seats Mike has to sit in are like egg cups.
I guess it makes sense. Oh, you could probably sit in that other chair.
Oh, they're Cheerios!
No, those are Fruit Loops. You see, they're colored.
Okay.
I think I know my cereals a bit better than you do, Tom.
Well, if it's in, like, Monsteropolis, would it be Brute Loops?
Oh god, I just hope she doesn't wet on that.
My bed now, bitch. Excellent take.
Don't worry, that game isn't out yet. You'll be fine.
It kind of reminds me of the picture Lilo draws of Stitch, where it's like, you are this % evil.
Oh, really?
What, have you never seen Lilo and Stitch?
I haven't seen a lot of movies, Tom.
My pop culture is literally yesterday, and that's it. That'd be like some weird kind of Inception kind of thing, where there's monsters within closets, within closets, within monsters.
I do like, as I watch this movie, you know, having seen it beforehand, like, I'm loving finding all the various points of foreshadowing that allude to later events in the movie. Like, that's really good story structure, I think. Like, the whole movie is just so tightly written that everything leads into the other naturally and, kind of foretells all of it. So it's kind of a nice little bonus if you're going through it a second time.
Now, I agree with that, but was there a particular thing that happened to make you bring up that point?
When Sully said, "I'm not gonna scare you."
Okay.
And as we know...
See, I gotta go put up with Mike.
It's a full night job.
It really is.
Like, I think if I was a monster in this world, I'd be the Mike kind of monster, just kind of stumpy, but I'd be super fucking dripping with sarcasm all the time.
I'm down for being John Goodman, personally. Snake skin, before you ask.
Okay, alright.
Well, there's like monster snakes in this world, so I guess they just donate their shedded skin.
So did they just kind of rip apart that chair to make that costume?
Yes, it was the favourite chair. Also, that's why no one can take a proper picture of the fucking Loch Ness Monster. Whoops.
Ah, well, I guess somebody bought a lot of these toys. I want the entire collection, Mom. I want every 51 of these characters.
Do you remember when Small Soldiers was released in theaters?
Oh yeah, I remember that, and then they cheapened it by making... They took the story about the movie where they make living toys designed to be cheap, and then they cheapen it with actual toys that talk.
Well, number one, I love Small Soldiers. It's a bit of a guilty pleasure for me. Number two, I had almost all the figures, except for, I think some of the enemy team.
I interacted briefly with, what the fuck was the guy's name? Archer, I think?
I interacted briefly. You mean you played with a toy, Senor Robot?
Well, I'm just censoring that because I don't know how to feel about it. No, it was somebody else's. I did play with it. Mostly I was just kind of... It was like the stiffest fucking thing ever. Like, it was made of this big old dirty plastic, it was mostly... I don't like toys with electronics, I'll just mention that now. I much prefer toys that, I can pose and fucking do shit with. Good dropkick, by the way. But that's why I kind of lean in towards more like Beast Wars and things like that. Not like the big stiff figures that can't move. I hate that on my action figures back in the day, personally. And I know that sounded like I was explaining like I don't collect them anymore, and really I don't, but still.
That's not joy.
Don't they have a bathroom at their house? Maybe they weren't watching, I guess.
No. They're concentrating on getting Boo back into that door, not whether she needs to take a piss break or not.
No, I like how you said no, and I'm sitting there going, so wait, the monsters in this universe don't shit at all? Because that's a good feat.
Yeah, very clean monsters.
Well, that's why they have a lock in there.
Just taking random nothing words and, putting it into the script is genius.
I suppose they had to get that kid who voiced her to kind of say particular things, maybe. I wonder how they did that.
I guess they prompted her with, toys and such.
See, again, she's like a blatant teleporter.
Zal Waldo!
Maybe, I don't know. Kids have had stands at younger ages. Now's the best time to mess around.
John Goodman, excellent actor.
I haven't seen him in a lot of stuff lately. What is he doing?
Let me look it up on IMDb, or opening the process hog that is Google Chrome, but for commentaries, I go that one step further.
I'm sure he's still doing stuff these days, but it's mostly, I don't really check out movies that aren't being advertised on TV and theaters, so...
She is impervious to flattery.
I'm pretty sure she's impervious to bullets, too.
Oh, he's gonna be in Ratchet & Clank as Grimroth.
Really?
Yeah, the new Ratchet & Clank movie coming out.
Oh, I might have to check that out, actually, because I got into Ratchet & Clank, not too long ago, and now I'm a big fan, so...
He was in Transformers Age of Extinction as Hound.
He was Hound?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I didn't watch that movie because it sucked, so.
That, you know what didn't suck? That fucking sound effect from Mike. Sully, what the fuck are you doing? Looks like you're having a fun time, Mr. Oh, I don't want to put the kid back in the door as fast as possible.
See, there you go. She fucking shows up out of nowhere. Like, she's just kind of beep, 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 beep all over the place.
She's also a Randall detector, apparently. Boy, I hope he doesn't look up into the mirror and see it through the crack in the door.
Shut up. Steve Buscemi is planning something.
I think his co-conspirator here, Fungus, maybe, is voiced by Frank Oz, but don't quote me on that. In fact, you know, I'll look it up before I make myself look like a tit.
Okay, Randall, this is just rude. Oh, this is just a coincidence. That just saves their asses in time.
Yep, voiced by Frank Oz. You think?
Never have a jelly bean be your, minion. Okay, well, except if you're the guy from Despicable Me, then apparently that's okay.
Oh, Jesus. It's even in anime nowadays.
What, really?
Yeah, he's in Inazuma 11 or some shit.
What?
Yeah.
Fuck that noise.
Ew.
That was Mike, wasn't it?
The last thing I need to see was a water texture on Mike.
Yeah, he kind of gives that appearance of a guy who would theoretically be always slimy, so.
He's a watery gonad is what he is.
Oh, a water chestnut. We're definitely not hiding anything. How are you? Not hiding nothing? We are perfectly fine and completely honest, 100% not doing anything.
How about that local sports team?
Hello, fellow kids.
I fucking love that, Jim.
And that was Steve Buscemi in that, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, yeah.
See, there you go.
Like, also comedy-wise, he was in Spy Kids, and he's like this crazy conspiratorial guy, I think. He's like, do you think God stays in heaven because he, too, is scared of what lies beneath or some shit? Fucking existential crisis commentary in, like, a kid's film. That's clearly not her door. Are you dumb, Mike? You're the door operator. You should know these things. This is true. This is true. It's okay, guys. We're just having another domestic.
Definitely not hiding anything. There you go.
I like the little slimy tentacle thing on the door. He had the best shifty eyes. They're probably used to Mike's antics at this point, let's be honest.
Yeah, I imagine that's kind of a 24/7 thing with him. And the kid's gone again.
Oh, Jesus, Teddy fucking Christ, what are we gonna do?
Did you put a leash on it yet?
Roz again, not caring. Oh, I think she looked slightly up back there. Ah, I got your you on me.
I didn't realize that was possible. This doesn't concern you, Randall, sorry.
Stop it.
It's perfect, though.
Slight spoilers for Monsters U here, but no, not the game on Wii U University. Have you seen it, by the way?
I have not seen it, but I know somewhat what happens in it.
Okay, well, Randall's shift from being like a goody two-shoes nerd is that he can't, like, camouflage himself because his glasses don't disappear with him, so he takes them off and starts squinting, and that's why he's always squinting in this movie. It's not just a Steve Buscemi thing, it's a character development thing.
What, really?
Yep.
Oh, wait a minute. Couldn't he have gotten contacts like Mike?
Shut up, Helldragon.
I'm sorry, I noticed that. Oh, they used this part in the trailer, I remember this now.
Anything with, like, fast-paced action is gonna end up in a trailer, let's be honest here. And while we're on the subject of trailers, How do we feel about DreamWorks and how they, like, produce their trailers? They or tend to focus more on the comedy side of films. And honestly, if I had watched the Kung Fu Panda trailer, I probably would have not watched the movie. And the movies are fucking awesome.
Yeah, see, that's the problem I notice sometimes with trailers. The way the studio advertises it is that they focus on the wrong elements, and it can communicate the idea that the movie is a particular way at the movie's detriment. Like, I can't tell you any examples off the top of my head because I'm not prepared for this commentary, obviously.
Okay.
But it has happened before. And the thing is about DreamWorks, I also want to add, I know some of the films are better than how they're presented. Like, you have always told me that you're a big fan of Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
Like you said. And I'm just sitting there going, I just have this block in my head that DreamWorks is Pixar light. It has always tried to be Pixar and not really have gone all the way. I mean, obviously, like, some of their movies can compare better to the weaker Pixar films, like Cars 2 in particular. But Pixar just has such a big, not only just, I wouldn't say like a stranglehold on the market. It's that their quality is just so higher and consistent, whereas DreamWorks films, they always tend to focus on the goofy slapstick shit that feels more focused on getting as much money as possible. You know what I'm saying?
That's a bit of a cynical take, but to put it in a more analytical sense, I think Pixar create a concept, or find a concept, whatever, and then flesh it out, try and put a new spell on it. DreamWorks find a concept, like, say, I'll pick Over the Hedge. They take a bunch of, like, woodland critters, and then they just write a story around it, without anything like...
And they all make this face.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we've all heard that before. And with nothing really, like, new or catchy to it. Not all of them are bad, per se, but they do tend to be a bit more of the mill. Although, in recent years, I don't think Pixar have been doing that great. I haven't seen, like, Brave or Inside Out, but there was, like, a slight period where I think Disney's, like, CGI animation studio were outdoing them with, like, Frozen and Wreck-It Ralph and so on.
Well, I mean, yeah, I understand that. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say, like, all of Pixar's movies have been good. Some of them have definitely varied. But with DreamWorks, and I admit my view may be a bit cynical.
Really?
You know, that's how I tend... Okay, alright, that's how I tend to be. But, I mean, like, it really does feel like... I guess another big strength about Pixar films is that there is that focus on story. There is that focus on taking that concept, making it original, putting this neat spin on it. Not just adding fucking, the popular trend. Fucking, CGI woodland critters, they all make this face. That's a joke. But they do that all the fucking time. And it really does make DreamWorks feel like Diet Pixar, to be honest with you. Like, I've seen some of this early stuff, like Shrek and things like that, and that one's so dated. Like, there's some elements that still hold up, but then there's, like, the Matrix shit they pull. They just don't hold up in the long run, I think, compared to Pixar movies.
It's a good job we didn't do a DreamWorks so far, isn't it?
Do we even have enough material for a DreamWorks-a-thon, I wonder?
We'll get to that one day. My boo's a box! Damn you, a box!
That wasn't part of the deal! That wasn't
The
part!
Wow, I can hear it too.
Good voice, Fox.
Aww.
Those are surprisingly cute for kid monsters.
Oh, he's getting daddy instincts. He's gonna get all broody in a bit.
And Mike's all freaking out about it. I like that little blue guy there. He's got a face that reminds me of those creatures from Mario, with the dots and the teeth. Like, he's way too fucking cute for an ugly worm thing.
That little blue worm thing, just the way he's animated, he reminds me of, like, something out in The Nightmare Before Christmas, like, almost stop motion.
Yeah, I see that vibe too. Although, and here's my question, back there we obviously saw Boo laughed, and it was enough to blow out the lights. How come this doesn't work with monsters? Like, why can't you harness a monster's scare energy? Like, what's the deal?
Well, God is cruel, first and foremost, and I guess, like, kids are from another plane of existence, so they're just able to harness those types of energies. I don't know, I didn't write the fucking movie, stop getting on my back.
What do I have, black hole theory and fucking human energy physics? What's going on?
I talk over video games, that's all I have, alright? Oh boy, here we go, .gif. It's fucking nothing. Wait for it.
The box. Bushimi.
So that's how he's been transporting things around. He was hoping to get Boo this entire time, but for what? What, damn you, what?
Probably something nefarious. This is Bushimi we're talking about here.
He's not a bad guy. He just plays bad guys in films and looks kinda weird.
Yeah. Well, I do have to admit, I can see why Randall can get a reputation as a scarer, because, see, this shit right here, he's just fucking creeping and crawling everywhere, invisible. I can see why that would definitely freak some kids out.
Oh, you can see why Boo would be scared of him, and not so much the giant teddy bear that is Sully. Not now, advancing the plot.
Sorry, I will pay you a compliment later.
Boy, I really hope he doesn't hear my stomping footprints.
Man, I've tried so hard to get a job in the back offices at Monster Inc. Man, you gotta know everybody in there just to even be considered.
Sorry, stomping footsteps. If you could literally hear the footprints, that would be an impressive stand power. Let me guess, it's a secret tunnel that only Randall knows about.
Oh, come on, that's a big oh, well, never mind. Well, I guess I'm not surprised that Monsters, Inc. has a bunch of secret tunnels around it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I love this level in Arkham Asylum, didn't you? Okay, now this room right here, this is definitely the kind of shit they should be pulling on kids if they want to harness their scare energy. Like, wait till they get older, let's start pulling out the Silent Hill monsters, with the nurses and Pyramid Head.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
That'd be a good way to get scare energy, just up your game.
There's a fungus among us.
What?
That's his name, Fungus. Don't you pay attention to anything I say in these commentaries?
No, I knew his name was Fungus. I'm trying to remember where I heard Fungus Among Us.
Mike can be surprisingly dry when he's not hammering it up. Buscemi was very clearly having a whale of a time here, and I love how we just refer to him by his second name. He has a first name.
But that's not important, is it?
What, are you gonna, feed me applesauce or something? I'm not a child, even though I'm, child size.
And with my own limited, very limited, I must admit, acting experience, it can be really kind of fun to kind of get into the villain's role. It gives you a chance to kind of bust loose than what you would normally do. It's a big, obnoxious death ray. What do you think?
Okay, well, I'm seeing scare canisters on the... Oh no! Oh no!
I think I saw this in Aliens.
Not particularly a fan of that thing on the end of it.
Yeah, that looks like it could fit in places that you don't want it to go. I wonder how Fungus decided to kind of get in with Randall. Did Randall offer him anything? Did Fungus just kind of latch on for some, to be part of something?
Well, he's obviously not scaring material, and if you've seen Monsters U, I guess that could be a parallel or some shit, I don't know.
Just making it up as you go, huh?
Well, it's a dumb concept to begin with, let's be honest.
He can't even bend his knees right. What kind of guy is Fungus anyway?
Now, I always thought chameleons were the hype as shit, so I liked Randall as a concept. He's not the most physically intimidating villain, but you already have Sully, so I guess someone on the same level wouldn't really work as a villain for the piece.
I kind of, with his cloaking ability, it would have been kind of neat if Randall was kind of a more of a Predator-esque sort of villain.
Well, he gets a scene here and there.
See, that's that Arkham Asylum stealth moves.
Fungus was never seen again. The end.
I wonder what Randall's Silent Hill would look like.
Hmm. Oh, Jesus.
Oh God, oh God! I think that strawberry is dying.
He turned white as well. Jesus.
It's Whiteface. Yeah, I think he's actually dead, guys.
Just screams being sucked out of you. Also, wouldn't this raise an eyebrow or two? Even if this went all the way to the top, people are going to notice when kids start disappearing.
That's true, yeah.
It better be a good one.
Well, I don't know. I've had ideas before.
Yeah, anyone can be an ideas man, but it takes a real special someone to implement the correct idea at the correct time.
Okay, this guy is still getting demoted. I mean, what's below Scarer? Factory worker? What's below factory worker?
Did they just keep him here to inspire the new candidates? Why is it the same three candidates?
Yeah, they must be having multiple classes. Is he the example? Is he going on this, the teaching tape? What not to do? Man, that green guy looks like one of the enemies in Commander Keen. I don't know if you've ever played that.
I've seen bits and pieces of it.
What were they called? Yorks? No, that's a peppermint patty, isn't it? All right. Boom.
A little bit lion-esque, maybe.
Okay, well I can kind of see the cat now.
I guess the closest comparison to Disney would be Beast from Beauty and the Beast. He has really kindly eyes, which really set off the huge roaring things. Sorry, sometimes my descriptions just kind of fall apart and becomes Buffy spook.
These eyes are glistening.
He's strangely underreacting here.
No, I was paid a paycheck. When you get older and you get a job you don't like, you'll do the same thing too.
Not too dissimilar to, obviously I have to use my cat since I don't have a kid of my own here, but when you accidentally, hit a cat, not on purpose, obviously, but when you accidentally just, smack him. Wow, I can't really phrase this in a good way, but when you accidentally
You just
hurt
sound like a horrible person now.
First of all, shut the fuck up, I love my cat. Second of all, it's like you try and gain their trust back, but they just don't want to know you. So I can kind of understand what Sully's going through here.
Really? You just kind of sometimes have to let them cool off, then they'll come back around.
We can dispose of the child, and no one will be any the wiser. I mean, the scaring thing of 1954 was bad, but this is just terrible. A single child.
I knew I should have been a carpenter. Mother was right.
I'd be remiss if I didn't actually give Waternoose a voice actor, and he is voiced by James Coburn, who sadly is no longer with us.
Alas, he did pretty good in this movie.
Yeah, I like him. He hasn't really done much else, has James, but he's great as Waternoose, and wouldn't you know it, he's in on the scheme as well.
Blatant betrayal. Now, I gotta say, I actually really like Waternoose's character in this movie, in that, he's banished Sully and Mike here, but he takes no pleasure in it. Randall wants pure revenge, and he takes a lot of glee in it. Waternoose is just, I'm doing the best thing for the company, and yes, I'm willing to go to certain lengths, but I didn't have any beefs with Mike and Sully, and I didn't want to get rid of them because they were helping me out, you see. So it's a good contrast to Randall's more basic, I want revenge and to just show Sully up kind of thing.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess Randall becomes the top scarer now, but Sully, he brought in the numbers too, so either way, the company's going to take a loss here.
That's true, and that's his big thing, it's all about the company, it's all about the mission, if you will.
Hello, John Ratzenberger.
Yeah, you gotta have that Pixar good luck charm.
What was your favourite John Ratzenberger cameo, Heldragon?
You know, I gotta admit, I really do like this cameo version here of the abominable snowman. Just give me words I can't pronounce and make me do the commentary for the movie. That's a good idea. I'm trying to remember others off the top of my head. The only one I can remember was the Underminer at the end of The Incredibles, and that was just he's there. But
I know him best as Ham from the Toy Story series.
That's true, actually. I remember that. Ham was also really good. I like him here and a lot as Ham in Toy Story. Is he made a pillow down?
Oh dear. Trouble in Paradise. I love the little gloves on his horns. Oh, and he's wearing gloves for shoes as well. I never noticed that. I just thought they were shoes. No, I meant Arctic Abyss. Thank you very much.
And I still love back there when they mentioned how it was lemon, snow cones and not what we would normally think it would be.
I want the backstory of the Abominable Snowman. I mean, he turns up, spoilers, in Monsters U, when Mike and Sully are working in the mailroom of Monsters, Inc., and he says, be careful, tampering with the mail is punishable by banishment. So, could Mike and Sully be responsible? I have to say no, just to preempt your response, because they were kind of killing it there. That's how they worked their way up through the ranks so much, because they didn't, come in as scarers. That was the end of Monsters University. They had to start in, the mailroom, and then they became, janitors and such, and then they eventually became, a scarer and operator.
You're wasting so much lemon snow cones.
Ew. Wow, that's something coming from a guy who was really obsessed with the record. He wasn't too different from Randall, actually.
Well, that's true, but Sully always had a positive, way to kind of vent that. Randall just kind of bottled it up for so long that it eventually drove him to evil.
It's lemon.
I hope it's lemon. Oh, wait, he comes back in and it's a completely different flavor. How did you make these? Why are they green?
Why are they red?
Ah! I'm gonna win this year's race. What about Billy Crystal, your friend?
Who voices Max's friend in the Goofy movies?
I think it's Jason or James Marsden, I believe. Is that the cheese guy?
No, you're thinking of Bobby, I think? No, James Marsden voices Max.
Okay, yeah.
I'll just look it up on BehindTheVoiceActors.com.
But it is the cheese guy we're talking about, right?
Yes, the cheese guy. Cheddar.
What the fuck was his deal? I watched a bit of that movie and he decides to make a big old The Leaning Tower of Cheese. I'm sitting there going, what the hell are you doing?
A little smokage. He was voiced by Pauly Shore.
Pauly Shore. Oh, that's why I forgot about him.
Sorry, I always get Pauly Shore and Buddy Crystal mixed up for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, they're so completely similar. This was a great level in the video game. The whole big discussion scene.
You've never played the video game. Stop being fake. That's the worst part about doing commentaries with you. You're so fake.
You're not even good enough to be my fake.
I'll make you eat those words.
Hey, those were white snow cones. At least they didn't try to add any other flavors.
He hadn't added the lemon zest yet.
Or the red.
Oh. See a doctor. An abominable doctor.
Ramming speed.
Watch out now.
On the bright side, he got a lot of points in SXX.
Not too dissimilar. You haven't played that either, you big phony. Not too
I can just make jokes about things, come on.
I was going to say not too dissimilar from totally beefing it after getting knocked off a polar bear in Crash 2.
You've never played that game, have you?
Yes, I fucking have, and I've done it on stream, so I got proof. Suck it.
Fine.
Poor George, he's been through the ringer in this movie.
Why did he need a crutch? Whatever.
Why did he need the friggin'... what's that thing? A cone? Not this time.
It's George's time now.
George is looking out for George from now on.
The legacy of George.
See, there's that kindly streak, but he went along with it, so fuck him.
Yeah, he's pretty much villain territory at this point.
I mean, he's thinking of the greater good, shat it, and all that, but, sometimes you go too far, and you should have been searching for, like, solar power, or wind power, just,
Why haven't they searched for solar power and wind power in this world?
Well, maybe physics work differently in the monster world?
Or Scream just produces more energy for your buck.
It's a good job he came in, because you saw what happened to Fungus. He was like an adult monster. God knows what it would have done to Boo.
God, yeah, that would be terrifying. I guess that's the point.
Buscemi is on the chase.
As you know, Buscemi is one of our world's deadliest hunters.
He's the best assassin. No, real talk though, I said that as a joke. If there ever is a No More Heroes 3, I want him to, if not voice Travis Touchdown, be an assassin.
That would be actually really funny, and he obviously needs his invisibility powers from this movie, just because that'd be hilarious.
Uh-huh.
It's not lemon, sorry. No, it's vanilla flavored, actually.
Now is not the time to shadowbox, Sully. So you get the back and forth, you get the physical comedy, it's the complete package.
That's true. Like I've said before, physical comedy is okay, just balance it with character comedy, good scenes, things like that. Just don't suck, guys, is what I'm trying to ask. Did you suck today? Can you stop?
The Sully's eyes rolling back in his head is the last thing I expected when I first watched this movie.
Good hit.
Pow, right in the kisser. Just picked him up like a beach ball.
Buscemi, the most deadly killer. Ah, Jennifer Tilly's on the hunt, too. Even the snakes have little cones. Why do they need cones?
They're equally as stressed, don't be insensitive. Seriously, I got the script here and everything, if you don't believe me.
Yeah.
I cited my sources there, see you later!
Scare now. Let's all violate his personal space.
He may be a villain, but that doesn't mean we can't hug him.
I will give him such a hugging.
Now, it's not against the law to have a big action climax in a movie, but how do you feel they handled it in this movie?
Yeah, it kind of tends to be the staple, like you said, and it really does vary on the movie in terms of how much it fits, how well it's choreographed, and things like that. I have to admit, though, I love this. I really do like this climax because it's a cool chase scene and it's done against a really interesting backdrop of all the various doors. Look right here. They've got this whole fucking network of all these doors. This looks cool, and it would make an awesome level in the video game I did not play.
Well, in Kingdom Hearts or Kingdom Hearts 3D to say it correctly, we did bring up, or at least I did, how that, post office part of Traverse Town looks a little bit like this.
Yeah, I definitely got that vibe, and, because of this whole setting here, with this climax, I think it really does work for the movie, even though up until this point, it's been mostly, there's been a lot of running around and screaming, I guess, so it does kind of fit.
I wonder if they adapted this at, Disneyland or Disney World.
This would make a really interesting ride, yeah, although I'd love to see the in-universe explanation for why they allow humans in here. Maybe it's like set after the movie. You know, they do a little let's try humans out here program just to see how it works. Can I be like the first human intern at Monsters Inc? How does that work?
My idea was you are humans in the thing, but you're being chased by, like, Randall.
This feels like we're in a completely different movie.
Say hi to Stitch while you're here.
Or SpongeBob. I'm definitely getting that Danny Elfman vibe now because I heard that riff back there and I'm sitting there going, that sounds like Batman.
Yeah. I always forget he, like, scored the Batman films. You know, Nightmare Before Christmas is obvious, but, well, Batman is gothic, so I'm a fool, I guess.
Look, there was Poe back there.
You know it's Japan because it's got Mount Fuji in the background. Also, you're a massive racist, Eldragon. Chinese
I'm
and
not
Japanese...
a racist. I was merely mentioning another, similar CGI movie that went well with that bit.
No, well, Kung Fu Panda is Chinese, not Japanese. And obviously, you gotta have the Eiffel Tower. Otherwise, how would you know it's in France?
So are you Chinese or Japanese?
Nice one. It did!
See you later, Buscemi. Okay, again, it's just... Oh, okay, it's not a teleport this time.
Yeah, I can turn invisible, you putzers.
I love the speeding lights actually on the back there. Like, it's just that little touch that makes it, really feel more alive.
The usage of motion blur and whatnot.
Quick, click her car alarm, then we can find her.
Keep opening up doors until we find the right one. Wait, wasn't that a stand power?
There are several door-based stands. I know there's one in a part you haven't gotten to yet as of this recording.
Was it in part 8?
Yeah, it's in part 8.
I'm not reading that until it finishes.
Fair enough. We are gonna have the best playdate. Yeah, Sully's not exactly what I would call acrobatic.
No, he's acrophatic. Momentum, bitch! Recognize!
Whoa, alright.
Seriously? You seriously didn't expect this? I've done it at least 5 times in this movie.
I killed Mufasa! Buscemi, please, let's work it out!
Implications of screen-based murder!
Yeah, I fought a chameleon once, exact same thing happened. Oh, he's changing different colors of different sports teams.
I'm surprised we haven't brought up Rango yet. Was that a DreamWorks film, or am I thinking of something completely different?
I believe it was DreamWorks.
Let me just look it up before we make complete tits of ourselves.
I love how they dispose him around, just chuck his ass. I love this. They look like shadow puppets.
Also, Pizza Planet truck on the left there.
Oh, hey, yeah.
You know what that area is, right?
Area 51?
No, that whole thing was the scene from A Bug's Life.
Oh, yeah.
Because, there's those 2 moths that fly towards the light, or at least one of them does. One is left alone in this universe, I guess. Well, we haven't beaten the final boss, Waterloo shit.
That's true. He's gonna be pretty hard. Hey, have you seen that guy run? It's crazy.
Oh, I wish I could forget, honestly.
Congress! No. Oh!
She is not impressed. Uh-oh. Rango was done by Paramount Pictures, I believe.
Ah, alright. Oh, you're so full of shit. This is a very good team building meeting.
So on the count of three, we're going to storm in. You can fire any type of guns you like, and just remember, it's completely legit. This is great. I just wish there was a few more drop kicks here and there.
There's never too many drop kicks in something, I think. Oh shit!
Don't make me run after you!
God, he books pretty good for a fat guy, Crab.
Now, if you've ever had a spider run towards you, you can see why this is scary.
I believe it, yeah. We are having a private bonding session.
Now, I said earlier that, Randall being all, slender and, stealthy, he's a good counterpart to Sully, but Waternoose is kind of, bulky, but, I guess it works because he's still smaller than Sully overall.
I mean, he's very nimble, obviously very physically powerful. He's something that you do not want to be chasing you, really.
Smart as well.
That's true.
Obviously, it would have to be to run a company. What's she gonna say? She could barely talk.
It's not what the kids are into. It's not cool. Am I watching a meeting for WWE or something?
If we pause the film here, you can picture the exact moment that he knew he fucked up.
And now.
Roll the tape back.
America's funniest scaring videos.
Now do it in Spanish.
Yo quiero this. My Spanish isn't very good, even though I took it in high school. You're sweaty.
Oh, and Randall didn't with his fucking suck machine.
Suck machine? It really did suck, didn't it? And that was the death of WCW.
All these wrestling things are just going way over my head, so I do apologise. Oh, here comes number one.
But who can number one be? We already know, though.
And it's Roz, obviously.
I'm number one!
Bow down, bitches. God. See? Someone on the inside. I love how in Monsters University, and this is a spoiler again, she's wearing a full bodysuit like the grunts are, as if you wouldn't know who she was.
Well, that's true, but I guess that sort of implies she also started at the bottom and worked her way up.
No, she was number one there, but they just hid her identity. I guess they're just this is for people who haven't seen Monsters, Inc. yet, I guess. That's all I can have, 5 minutes.
It's the natural way. He's like, Roz, do you smoke? Actually, I've quit not too long ago.
Okay, you're just slowly becoming Wesker here. Even Mike is charmed by this little girl. Don't throw up.
Don't throw up, grow up. Don't get my words wrong. Because I got after Randall for the whole Cretan thing, you know?
Pixar ball on the floor.
I see it. I also wanted to mention, earlier when I was talking about how there were some other cues to Pixar stuff, there's actually a comic that takes place after the events of this movie, and it brings in Sid from Toy Story, Waternoose comes back, Randall comes back too, and I think a villain from one other thing. I can't remember which, but
Jessie
They
doll there, by the way.
interact. She had a Jessie doll in the comic too. That giraffe looks bugged out, man.
It's not quite little Mikey, but it'll have to do. Nope, Randall is getting 5 to 10, at least until he comes back in those comics Helldragon mentioned. Wow, she actually knows what's going on. I guess she isn't that young. Did you get sad when you first saw this?
No. But, I mean, it's still a good scene.
It doesn't touch my cold black heart, but at least I can understand the concept of it.
What's important is that it's relatable. As you all know, we've all had a monster friend we've had to say goodbye to.
Snuffleupagus. Life was never the same when he left.
The scariest thing, clothes.
The scariest thing, the concept of someone you love never coming back. I'm sorry, did that just get a little bit too real?
That got a little bit too real, like, that hasn't happened to me personally, but man.
Cue joke. But bum, thanks for coming everyone, see you in the non-existent sequel.
That's pretty great of you.
I thought, I forget whether Monsters University was named that when it was first announced, but I really wanted the sequel. Wasn't really too hot on the prequel idea, but Monsters U is okay. It's literally every college film ever, or university film, but it's still enjoyable, I think.
I think a good thing about Pixar films is that most of the time, they don't need to be sequels. They're so satisfyingly self-contained in their own. Like, if they made a sequel to WALL-E, it wouldn't work, you know? That story is done. This story is done. It's fine.
Technically, the sequel to WALL-E is in the credits, because it shows the humans rebuilding.
That's true, but that kind of flowed with the main narrative well enough.
Wait a minute. Something was said! Laughs! Of course, you see this and you think they've just gone back to the whole scaring thing, but let's wait and see, shall we?
Still, probably the most scary thing about this movie is how the kids look, like I've said before.
When Toy Story 3 rolled around, humans looked much, much better.
Here's a scary thing, Billy Crystal doing stand-up. I know he's done it before, but...
Oh, Jesus. My room? Duh. Haha.
He's just sitting there trying to grok all this. He's just like, huh?
You get it? Because I'm spherical. Spherical.
Billy needs a bit more time at the improv.
Give it time, it's ruminating, it's rumbling. And here we go. Ta-da! I really will be here all week, this is my one gig.
And now I love how it's reversed, that now Mike, like in Monsters U, he wanted to be part of this. You know, he wanted to go in the doors, he wanted to, scare the kids, but now he gets to just make them laugh. So it's kind of... It's not what he originally planned, but he still kind of gets what he wants, and that's actually really satisfying for him. And he also has a hot Medusa girlfriend. Not sure if I can finish that sentence.
Different strokes for different monster folks, I guess.
Oh god, I bet the snakes really do watch. Come on, calm down.
Oh, I love this.
Magazines, you remember those?
Oh, he's just so happy to be included. Actually, the roles have kind of reversed now. Sully was the one going through the doors before, and Mike supervised. Also, why the fuck does Fungus still have a job?
Yeah, Fungus is sort of... I don't understand it either. He really should be fired.
Anyway, the point was the roles reversed, and now Sully is the operator, I guess.
It's kind of an interesting change of pace for the factory, but hey, whatever works. It is ridiculously convenient, though, that laughs generate way more energy than screams, but, like I said, they did foreshadow that a bunch throughout the movie, so it doesn't come completely out of nowhere.
I guess it's because laughter is positive, even if it's derisive and whatnot, and screams are negative, so...
And I am positive we need a lot more energy because of these game consoles people around these days.
And I am positive that we need to wrap up now, so Monsters, Inc. as short and as sweet as you can make it. Sum up, mate.
I think after all this time, it's a great movie, and it's probably one of Pixar's best. Everything clicks. The plot is great. The characters are great. The comedy is organic, natural. It's still funny. Still actually looks pretty good. Has generally good dramatic and touching emotional moments. Fantastic movie all around.
It's in my top 5, and what else is there to say, really? It's charming. Billy and John are great as Mike and Sully, and it's just an all-around fantastic movie. Helldragon and I still have one more movie to go, so we're going to sign off now, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
See you then.